You don't got to check. I'll tell you, there are no longer any perfect brackets remaining in this year's March Madness.
Even still, Americans are all in on the action. The Sweet 16 matchups are all set. And after a slew of surprising upsets, only 2 number 1 seeds remain in the tournament.
Meanwhile, the number 15 seeded Princeton Tigers are looking to continue what is a historic Cinderella run, set to tip off against the 6th seeded Creighton Blue Jays on Friday.
Joining us now is Jay Ginsbach. He's a sports analyst and contributor at Forbes. Jay, how are all of the upsets impacting the way Americans are betting on March Madness this year?
Well, favorites, good to be with you both. The favorites are certainly the popular and the most popular sides when betting. It's been an even split on the point spreads. It's through the opening 2 rounds plus the first 4 play-in games. The against the spreads are essentially even, 26, 25, and 1 against the spread for favorites and underdogs. Favorites have won about 2 out of every 3 games straight up, but the sports books are doing pretty well. The biggest game in the opening 2 rounds that was the most bet was the Duke-Tennessee game. And talked to the vice president of trading at BetMGM, and he said that was their biggest and best result when Duke went down in defeat. And you'd be surprised the Purdue loss actually was hurt many of the sports books. You'd think that it was the biggest upset in terms of point spread in the NCAA tournament history. A 23-point underdog game, Fairleigh Dickinson, and beat Purdue, but that actually hurt the sports books. Overall, bettors are having a good time, and that's the most thing about the March Madness. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Bettors are having a good time, unless they lose big, of course. But what you were saying there was really fascinating to me. So big upsets, like when Princeton makes it to the Sweet 16, and not a lot of people anticipate that. That's a money loser for the sports books, for the people who take the bets?
Most of the time, the sports books are pulling for the underdogs. The betting public likes to bet more of the favorites. That particular result against Purdue was harmful. It was such a big point spread that some people are taking a money line on that at 20-1 on Fairleigh Dickinson to win, and they did that.
Huh.
So that would be a big result. It was a 7-figure loss, actually, for one of the sports books, but they make up for it on many of the other games. And the Princeton is, what it's all about. It's just a great Cinderella story. You see these teams coming through. You see a team like Arkansas knock off the number 1 team, tournament team and defending champ in Kansas. And if you're in the sports books, if you're in the bars, if you're with friends cheering these games on, you just hear a lot of excitement through it all. And you want to keep your betting in line through it all, but the brackets really make it exciting as well.
Absolutely.
Well, let me ask you about, just the bettors that are on the novice side. What do you suggest for people who are looking to make up for their busted brackets? What do they need to keep in mind about a tournament like this? It's really a marathon, and, if you're not too familiar, what's your advice?
Well, can I ask you a specific question? My colleague, Vlad Dutier, he used some computer geeks that ran some code that gave him his picks. And now in the Sweet 16, he's got only 4 picks left. And he seems to think this is pretty good. Is he doing okay or not?
Not too bad. A lot of advanced metrics, advanced statistics out there. There's sites that people can go and reference. But the bottom line, when you get to this deep in the tournament, the cream usually rides at the top. And so the top teams are going to likely make it. You've got the odds-on favorites right now. Alabama and Houston are 3 and 4 to 1 to win it all at this point. So the odds to win it keep adjusting. But to novice bettors, keep bet with your head, not over it. If you're down at this point, know this, that the betting lines are tighter now through the Sweet 16, the Elite 8. There's no double-digit favorites. I think Princeton is maybe a 9.5-point underdog at this point, but all the rest of the games are competitive. They're from Pick'em. They're -1. They're 3.5-point spreads. A couple at 6.5, including Alabama, which is nudged up to 7.5-point favorite over San Diego State. But you want to just understand these are close, competitive. If you haven't learned at this point, there are many upsets and a lot of games. Just incredible money changed hands on that Gonzaga TCU last second, couple of free throws by Gonzaga, and then the last second basket that changed the point spread, and a lot of money changes hands.
Well, Jay Ginsbach, great Tony Soprano piece of advice there. Bet with your head, not over it. Thank you.
I love it. Very good. Thank you.
Good to be with you.